Welcome back, everybody, to episode 57 of the TalkBall Tweakers podcast. I am your host, Blake McQuarrie, with my co-host, as always, Tucson Fancher, Jake Mazarski. How are we doing, fellas? Lots going on in sports world.
Lots going on. Feel pretty good. I'm glad we don't have to be nervous tonight about the United States national team because we won the group. Um, yeah. NBA stuff. I mean, yeah, no, the draft went how I expected it, especially for the Brooklyn Nets, who could have picked Darius Acuff, but it's all right. Like, yeah, I can't even say that without a straight face, but I'm good. Always happy to be back on the podcast. Oh,
You know what's
six
you know what
errors, by the way. Six errors.
you know what's so funny? This man was during the whole playoffs, he was looking forward to the draft because he's a Nets fan, only for them to absolutely shit the fan and absolutely have the worst
Yeah.
draft imaginable.
It's cool. It's cool, bro. My Knicks won it all. We're
I
good.
thought they were. I thought they weren't gonna beat last year. Bro, this is the
That's
worst picks I've
crazy
ever
work.
seen.
Bro, I don't know what's worse because last year they had five first round picks and they all five suck.
And guess
And
what? Guess what? Guess who else you get? Julius Randle.
oh yeah,
Bro.
shit.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
crazy.
You got the worst team I've
Yeah,
ever
no.
seen.
There is a ton going on, and Jake is in absolute disbelief. I think he's in more than disbelief right
No,
now.
you're in
Yeah, no,
sports hell.
honestly,
You're in sports hell.
It's,
You're in sports
I've
hell.
been in sports hell, bro. Like, how many times, oh, dude, this has to be on like the past 10 podcasts. Like, you add in the Rangers finishing in last place, Caleb Wilson breaking his hand on a non-contact drill, like Chelsea missing out on the fucking Champions League and coming in 10th place. Like, the list goes on and on, bro. On and on. Hey, at least Carolina baseball made it to the College World Series before they got absolutely
Yeah. Before they got X
bulldozed.
hammered at
Bulldozed.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, so,
yeah,
shit. I got
tough scenes. Tough scenes for Jake.
the Knicks won the title. We're
Um,
good, bro. We're good.
Tough scenes for Jake. He's changing over to a New York Knicks fan. Um, but yeah, no, we're gonna get into that draft in a little bit. We've got some trades. The NBA is on fire right now, um, and we're gonna talk about them. But first, let's talk
Talk ball.
ball.
Oh, talk ball. My
Oh,
bad, bro.
This
My bad.
dude,
and pay
you can't get enough.
attention.
Can't get
Nets
anything right these
fans,
days.
Nets fans, Nets fans. That's all you gotta say. Nets
Yeah,
fans, Nets
can't
fans.
get anything together.
We're not redoing it. We're not redoing it.
We don't need to redo.
Miami is heating up, fellas. The Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks agreed to a trade a few days ago, sending Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Heat. Um, and that is for a plethora of players that include Tyler Hero, Kale Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Kasparis Yakachonis, three first round picks, one pick swap, one second rounder. Um, and the Heat also get Bobby Portis as well. So um, couldn't couldn't
Anthanasis.
couldn't
Probably.
couldn't couldn't forget Bobby Portis in there. Probably Thonsis as well.
And throw in
Um,
Alex too. Giannis' brothers go wherever he goes.
all the Antetokounmpo brothers are going to Miami. Um, yeah, guys, thoughts on the trade?
I'll start us off and I'll be fast. Three things for me. One, Pat Riley. I sort of thought you were stupid when in your post game or postseason presser, you're just like, I wouldn't trade Bam for anyone, even Giannis. And then he didn't have to trade Bam for Giannis. Obviously, the Heat getting one of the best players of the generation is huge for them. In terms of them contending, they're an immediate contender, but there's still a bunch of flaws on the team that we're obviously going to talk about. The loser of the trade, the Celtics, because the Celtics, and we'll talk about Jaylen Brown later in the episode. If they got Giannis, they'd be the favorites in the East. And that gets me to my third winner. I think the biggest winner of this trade might be the Knicks, because I still think the Knicks are the best team in the East now that the Celtics didn't get Giannis. And great for Giannis for getting a fresh start. We could talk about Milwaukee. It's a good return. Like, I really do like Jaime Jaquez and Tyler Hero. I think the biggest thing for them is the two guys they drafted in Braden Burries and Nate Ament is whether those two are going to work out. So they're in full scale rebuild. So very fast. Heat win, Celtics lose, Knicks win, Bucks. We'll see how they manage it.
Yeah, I look at this from the standpoint of not, I mean, usually when you look at trades, you look at it from the standpoint of vertical, lateral.
How does this help? Did he go forward? Did he go sideways? And I look at it more like a knight in chess. It's sort of he's going vertical, or excuse me, he's going side to side, right? And then he's gonna have to take off. Miami doesn't have the assets to compete right away. As soon as the trade happened, people talk about Miami can't do this and they can't do that. Of course not. Miami before couldn't do anything. The addition of Giannis to nothing still gets you nothing. All right. You have to have a place around, you have to have a team around. When he won the championship, he had Middleton, he had Holiday. That's what he was working with. So now that he is in Miami, he's gonna have to, they're probably not gonna get another star. All right. That's probably the case. So they're
And
gonna have to
unfortunately,
put a team around him to actually help him. Shooters, a lot of good players. And so that's the task. But I think he went vertical in this sense. Miami is obviously a better market, a bigger market, and a warmer climate as opposed to Milwaukee. Obviously, you love being in Milwaukee, but we know Pat Riley and that front office and that coaching staff is way ahead whatever Milwaukee has, even if they weren't able to compete within the last couple of years. So good for the Heat. This is as much as I don't really openly criticize him, but Pat Riley's had problems with superstars. One thing you can never take away from him is he knows how to get the big star. Like he always knows how to get that. Whether you're talking about drafting D Wade, whether you're talking about getting Shaq here or getting Shaq there, whether you're talking about Giannis, LeBron, any of these players, Chris Bosh, he's been able to do it. So respect to them. And then on the other side with Milwaukee, like Jake said, you get to build something new. You have Tyler Hero. You have something. And this is what it is after a superstar player leaves. You're gonna have to start very small and build. I think, it's very high on Braden Burris. We'll talk about the draft later. Elite combo guard. Elite. And he's exactly what you need. He's not a guy who's gonna go out there and drop 40 this game, 50 this game, and it's not gonna contribute to winning. He's gonna give you 20 plus. He's gonna contribute to winning. He's going to get everything organized. He can run the point. He can run the two. He can do everything. So I think they have a good young crop ahead of them, and they'll be interesting. Obviously, won't compete for jack squat, but he has something to start with. Last thing I'll say with the Bucks, this is a lesson in not waiting too long. There were better offers other places, in my opinion. You do get some draft picks, obviously, but in terms of the player, exchange, you didn't get exactly what you wanted for. But you can't have your cake and eat it too. For whatever reason, you got guys like Mikal Bridges, and
don't
and
say
and all
Mikael
those
Bridges.
guys who
Stop it.
listen. I'll give him a pass because he won a ring, but we'll say Rudy Gobert, guys who get traded for 4 first-round picks and like 10 players. So I don't think the return was exactly what they wanted, but again, um, for Giannis to not end up in Boston kind of baffled me, and for him to not force his way to Boston baffled me. It's like if you want to win another ring, Boston's right there. They're right there. And for him to go to Miami, you're gonna have to start something completely new. But props to
Wait, can
him.
I say one more thing before you go? Every trade like this makes the Luka Doncic trade look so much worse. So much worse. Like, yeah, I don't even want to analyze it because we all know it sucks. But one first round pick compared to the four Giannis got, when you could argue Luka's a better piece in the future, like he's younger than Giannis and all this. Like,
I mean, everything makes the Luca trade looks bad. The
yeah,
birds outside singing make the Luca trade sound bad. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, no, I mean, my thoughts on it are, I think initially it didn't move me too much. I mean, obviously it moved me in terms of like, yeah, Giannis is getting traded, of course, 100%. I think him going to Miami didn't move me as much. And then I really sat there and looked at, their potential starting five. Their starting five right now would be Davion Mitchell, Norman Powell, Andrew Wiggins, Giannis, and Bam Adebayo. That's a pretty good starting five in the NBA, especially when you're in the East. Um, so for me, and then you got to think Eric Spoelstra is their head coach. I think Eric Spoelstra is I think Eric Spoelstra is arguably a top three head coach in the NBA right now. I think Eric Spoelstra all time is a top 10 coach. He's a damn good coach. And when you give Eric Spoelstra a talent like Giannis Antetokounmpo, and you pair that with Bam Adebayo and for a front court, that's going to be disgusting. So I think for them is, I mean, it's make it or break it. Win it all, or you don't. I think they need to go get somebody else for their point guard position. I don't think Davion Mitchell uh, is a starting point guard on a championship team. I just don't see it. I think Davion Mitchell is a hell of a good player. Don't get me wrong. I think Davion Mitchell is more of a sixth man, seventh man, come off the bench type of guy. Um, because his defense is amazing. His defense is amazing. He can score the ball a little bit, but like it's not a starting point guard on a championship team. So I think what they need to do is go and find a point guard, whether that's sign one or you try and um, get one through another trade, whatever the case may be. But I think if they can fill that guard position with just a little bit better, a guy who's a little bit better than Davion, I think Miami is going to be arguably the favorite in the East outside of New York. Um, that's just how good I think they can be. I think their depth is good. They have still keep some, obviously got rid of some young guys, but they still get to keep some young guys as well. They get to keep some of their good pieces that they had last year. And yeah, I mean, I think Miami's going to be nasty. I really do. In terms of Milwaukee, I actually love what Milwaukee is. I love what Milwaukee has right now. A lot of first round picks. They got a lot of young guys. I love what they did in the draft. Ahmet is a little questionable for me. We're obviously we're going to see what he turns out to be, but I think Braden Burries is going to be a good player in this league, 100%. If Ahmet returns the favor, then they got something cooking over there. Harrow's a very good player who can score the ball very well. KL Ware is a hell of a good big. That's young. He's lengthy. Um, he can go up, catch lobs, defensive menace down in the paint. So I think what Milwaukee has is they have a really good foundation to set themselves up for a good future. Um, Ryan Rollins as well. He came on this past year and this past season. He showed what he can be. So I think Milwaukee is in a good position, a very good position. Um, I mean, in terms of who won the trade, like I think my dad had asked me like who won the trade in your eyes. Whenever you get Giannis Antetokounmpo, you won the trade, like hands down. I'm not gonna go against Miami, not winning this trade because Milwaukee got a ton of draft capital and things like that and assets. But um, I mean, their return was damn good to me, and it sets themselves up for a good future. So
I think too, like with the who won the trade question. I mean, Knicks fans said it like immediately when they won the championship, like they won the Mikal Bridges trade, even though they gave up 5 first round picks. And the Nets definitely aren't held in that case. But it obviously depends long term on the organization getting all the picks, how they build it. Because like the Heat, for all we know, could not win a championship with Giannis. Giannis could go somewhere else after 4 years and they don't win, and then the Bucks contend. And it's going to look bad for the Heat unless they don't win a ring. But if they win a ring, it's obviously a win, and they got Giannis Antetokounmpo, right? And one more thing, like I'm ready to call Miami. I fully agree that they need something else to contend in the East, especially with an 82 game season, the way the playoffs are. If I had to say right now, ranking teams in the East, I'd probably put Miami second or third. They're right there with Boston. Like, assuming Boston does trade Jaylen Brown, I don't think any return they get is going to make them a better team than Miami right now. Even if it's Evan Mobley that with Cleveland, like I'm thinking about it more. Giannis and Bam is it the best front court in the NBA? It has to be right now, right? Like I can't really think of another. And like
yeah,
I right? I mean,
yeah,
I give it if it's between the Heat and the Knicks, I'd obviously give it to the Knicks right now because like you've seen the Knicks, you haven't seen the Heat, and the Knicks are literally with all the cash they're getting, they're gonna re-sign Mitchell Robinson and run it back. It just like it makes it really interesting. Miami's obviously gonna contend. Like looking at the free agent market, I saw Colin Sexton. That could be an upgrade. Offensive guard. Still don't know if he's a starter, but that could work. Who's some? I saw a few others. Like I saw someone make a joke about they should trade for De'Aaron Fox. I don't think that's a joke, and I think that's stupid, but it is what it is.
I don't
I,
hate that.
I
Y'all
don't I don't
know we
I don't
talked
hate it.
about Fox
No,
last
no, no,
episode.
no. I don't hate it either. I really
I
don't.
don't hate that. I do
No,
not hate that at all.
I don't hate it either, especially if the Spurs are willing to eat some money. Like we spoke about De'Aaron Fox. I like that a lot. Like there's other point guards that are going to be available. Like AJ Mitchell will be available. Can he be a starter? Or like, I mean, the next trade we're going to talk about, you could always trade for another point guard, LaMelo Ball. They're not going to trade for someone like that, but like there are point guards at that like lower level that could change championship teams. I mean, the last time the Heat made it, who was their point guard? It was what's it called? Cody Martin. So it could happen. It could really happen. And now it's just like proof in the pudding, but they got it done. And good for Giannis too. This is the last thing I'm gonna say. Like we spoke about this since like last summer when we started talking about Giannis being traded in the rumors. The Bucks did him right. They got a good offer for him and they got him out of there before the season started. He wanted somewhere new. He won a championship there. He's a legend. He's probably the best Buck ever. And so good for them for doing it the right way and getting their return too. Like it'll suck for them for a few years, but they'll always have that one. And remember, like Jalen Brunson dropped 45 in a closeout game, Giannis dropped 50. And that's just something that's going to be memorable forever. But it wouldn't have happened if Nike made a smaller shoe.
The Nets fan never fails. Never
Never,
fails.
never.
You know what opens my eyes a little bit is Memphis is really trying to shop Ja Morant.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely,
And
absolutely.
I think Memphis would deal Ja Morant for almost damn near a bag of chips.
And the Heat wanted him at the trade
That's
deadline.
that's how bad
Yeah,
that's how
but
bad
like, do we really think Ja and Giannis is gonna get it done?
that's where I was going though. I don't know if I like the
In
dynamic of
Miami,
it. That's why I said it just opens my eyes a little bit.
Oh
yeah.
boy, in Miami they getting into
You
some
gotta
stuff.
like you
Ja
need
Morant in
Bam and
Miami
Giannis
is
to
a little
lock him in a
scary.
room and go, you gotta lock in. You gotta lock in.
Ja Morant in Miami is a little scary, but
Yeah, that's I don't I also think he's gotten worse as a player. I mean he could have a turnaround year. It could just be because he's on the Grizzlies and he's done with the Grizzlies, but he can't shoot that well. And so you're already that means you're putting a 7-footer who goes to the rim and a 6'3" guy who's skinny that both go to the rim, just kind of clogging stuff. You kind of need a better shooter at the point.
A guy
I
I could see them
I
going for, like Mike Conley in free agency, cheap, veteran.
I just think they need a guy who's going to be willing to pass the fucking ball. I know John Morant's not obviously that type of guy. That's why I said it opens my eyes. I don't love that, but it opens my eyes a little bit. Um, they need a guy who's going to pass the ball. If you're going to retain Norman Powell, you're going to retain Andrew Wiggins, you don't need to worry about shooting at all whatsoever. I
Yeah,
think they just need a guy who's going to come in and pass the ball. That's why De'Aaron Fox to me, that's why De'Aaron Fox, that's singing to me. That's singing to me, really. It really is. I think that would put them over the hump. I think that would get them where they want to go.
yeah,
Absolutely would. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I want to see them go get another point guard though, and
it will.
I want to see that happen. 100%.
Get you a holiday.
Yeah, no, Drew
Drew
Holiday.
Holiday as well.
A
Absolutely.
lot of these guys can work. Like Tyus Jones is a free agent. He might work. Like just getting a like
I
probably
don't know
not.
about Ty. Tyus isn't an upgrade from Davion Mitchell
No,
though.
he's not. But he's a facilitator more than Mitchell. And
Yeah.
if they have four shooters on the
Okay,
floor,
but
just
do you
split him
think
in Mitchell's minutes. Like
okay,
I'm not advocating for it. I'm just looking at the free agent market because like they don't have a lot of resources. So it's just like, are you gonna trade for another guy? But if Memphis calls you and goes, we gotta get Ja out ASAP. Cam Boozer needs number 12. We want Ja out before training camp because he's only gonna be a distraction. We'll give you to him for a first round pick. Yeah, no, I think they do that. Like, I don't know if it'll work, but whatever makes the team better, you know?
Yeah.
I just don't want them to do anything out of desperation. That's what got the Bucks in the first
Yes.
place was desperation.
Yes. And it's
Yeah.
gotten so many teams in the past. So many teams make that move and it doesn't work out.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. We talked about this before in the pod in terms about whose fault it was, Giannis or the Bucks. At this point, Giannis has no, in my opinion, he has no right to be upset with the Heat through
Yeah.
the building process because you just went through that whole thing and you just chose the worst team out of them in the Celtics. So you're gonna have to rebuild, which means you're gonna have to be patient. You can't force them to trade for anybody.
Well, it wasn't Giannis's choice to go to Miami though.
No, it was between the Heat, the Celtics, and maybe Minnesota was like a dark horse third.
I think like it
But
was like the owner made the final decision, but
it
I do
was
think it was like his preferred destination. Like I think
it
Giannis
was
wanted out
he was yeah, Miami was on that list, but Boston wasn't willing to give up
more.
all those young players uh that Miami was willing to give up, and that's why he's in Miami
Yeah,
ultimately.
like they prefer that offer because like look, you can make an argument that the Celtics offer was better too. Like Jalen Brown and two first round picks like could work out. Like Jalen Brown's 28, he's going into the prime of his career. He's coming off a season where he should have been first team all NBA, was
Well, they
fourth.
they they were scared if he wanted to stay in Milwaukee. That's what the big problem was.
Yes,
They didn't know if he
exactly.
would want to.
That's why they took the offer. A
Yeah.
lot of people thought that they were going to take the Celtics offer because the owner wanted ticket sales. But the owner said, "No, we want longevity." And the Bucks said, "We want longevity. We don't need a superstar right now because if Jalen Brown went to the Bucks, they're not competing against the Heat, the Knicks, maybe even the Celtics. And so they're just playing long term and it works."
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting for sure. I'm excited to see what Milwaukee does though. I really am. We're gonna move over to I guess the team that is a real contender in the West, probably just got even more realer. Charlotte and Minnesota. They have agreed to a trade to trade LaMelo Ball to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Naz Reid, a 2020, 2033 unprotected first round pick, three first round pick swaps. Those are 2028, 29, and 2030, and three second round picks, 2029, 2032, and 2033. Josh Green goes to Minnesota as well with LaMelo in the deal. Thoughts on that one?
I drove safe to work today. And then I'll let you guys go. But I drove safe to work today.
That's first.
Oh my gosh, bro.
From the Timberwolves standpoint, I will always credit a team or a general manager or front office when they have the guts to move off of players that they've signed. They looked at this postseason and they said, yeah, Julius Randle as the number two is not going to cut it. So they shipped him out. I don't fully agree with the Ayo Dosunmu signing completely. That still baffles me a little bit. You gave him a lot of money. And then, trading for LaMelo is you got to shake it up. Something's got to happen. And can't go into the next couple of seasons with Julius Randle or Karl Anthony Towns. He's going to need somebody better. And so I appreciate the flip in game style. So now you're getting a true point guard who can both score and assist when he's on the floor. And Ant is not a great facilitator, but he's a great scorer, obviously. And so now you get a great facilitator, somebody that can spread the ball. I like it for Minnesota. Now, do I think that they're going to win the championship? No, I don't think this trade moves them ahead of anybody. In fact, it could make them worse. They could end up losing to the Nuggets every year after beating them 3 years straight. And we don't know that. But I look at it from a standpoint of you shake it up, it's something new. Again, I don't look at it like, oh my goodness, now the Timberwolves are running they're running the West. No, it's just kind of an interesting trade. Um, and yeah, I mean I find it a little bit weird that they made that switch that quickly, but it is what it is. On the Charlotte end, which I'm actually more concerned about than the Timberwolves because the Timberwolves will be what they will be. It's actually kind of funny because they're in the same draft, LaMelo and Ant in the same draft,
Yeah.
and I realize now they're playing that. That's funny.
Yeah.
But on the Charlotte end, you never really got to see what this young core could truly do with LaMelo. Like, you drafted him, you brought him in, he's the third overall pick. This is supposed to be the time where he is supposed to be your true cornerstone. He went through all the years of suffering. You were ass, you've been ass, you're trash. Now all of a sudden you're getting good. This was Blake's dark horse pick last this season. And they were in the play-in, they were supposed to win, supposed to face the Pistons, and it didn't happen. And now you're going to next season with Naz Reid, Con Knipple, and Brandon Miller, hoping those are your big three, right? And so now you don't know what you're gonna do. You got Bridges as well. You had a good young team, but you're punting on your cornerstone. So I thought it was a little weird that they just got rid of him like that. There was no talks or heads up like he was gonna go. So from that standpoint, I really thought that they should have given him a chance to kind of do something, but
Mhm. That's where I am too with it because like Pod, if you don't know by now, I live in Charlotte and I have been like I've told Blake and Tucson, I've been one of the most unpopular people at bars and at work when I've said that the Hornets should consider trading LaMelo. And I didn't actually believe they should. I think it was more of a product of I didn't think this Hornets team could compete with the Knicks or the Celtics or those guys. And I didn't think they were going to do it. And trading a fake, like he's the face of the franchise. Like, regardless of what he is, he's the face of the franchise. And Charlotte's pretty much saying this is Concanuple's team. Like, they have a great young core. They really do, right? They have Concanuple, Brandon Miller. I love Christian Anderson. I think he's going to be a star. I really like Hans Steinbach. But like you said, like, LaMelo Ball has been on this team for 5 years. They're finally getting out of the trenches. His last game in Charlotte, he hit a game winner. And so it's just like, that it just didn't make a lot of sense for me. And it just like right when they seem like they're about to contend, they take a step backwards. And they very well could contend in 1 or 2 years, but now they don't have that face of the franchise yet because you don't know about Khan, you don't know about Christian Anderson, like you barely know about Brandon Miller right now. And
we
so
know
it's
about Brandon Miller. We know
we
about
know
Brandon.
we know about Brandon Miller, but he's an injury prone forward. And like on the other side, like you said, I'm not going to add too much for Minnesota. Like we've said this not only this year, last year when we were in the studio too, and Minnesota lost. Like they always needed someone better than Julius Randle next to Ant. And like I was very surprised in September 24 when they traded Cat because I did think Cat could be that guy, but it is what it is. Like LaMelo makes them better. It's just like a question of where do they rank in the West? Because they're obviously not Oklahoma City or San Antonio. Like they're competing with the Los Angeleses, maybe even the Houstons if Fred VanVleet comes back. But like you said, it's a try at something different. And LaMelo's a game changer. So it was definitely a confusing thing to wake up to. I really don't know where either team goes. It doesn't really move the needle for either teams. If anything, like the streets of Charlotte like are quieter now. Like they
That's
just
the
don't have
winner
a
of the
big
trade is the streets of Charlotte.
seriously. Like, yeah,
Minnesota,
seriously.
look out.
Yeah, it just like the more I think about it, it's weird. Like I wanted to come on here and I'll throw it to you, Blake. Like I wanted to come on here and say like, oh, it's a good trade for the Hornets because they got a good return. I like what they did in the draft, but like this is a team that was the second best team in the NBA in the second half of the season. Should have made the playoffs. Probably would have gotten dog walked by the Pistons, but they weren't supposed to be there anyway. And now they just traded their franchise player. So like I don't know what the expectation for them is unless you expect Christian Anderson to be a star immediately or Kobe White to be that star immediately. Your expectation is still to play in my opinion. And so it seems like one step backwards to take two forwards, and it sort of seems like it's not a guarantee for Charlotte, especially when the East has Miami and New York and these teams that are going to be around for a while.
Yeah. For me, I think it's this trade is like a wow moment.
How do you guys think
It's
Ant woke up to this news today?
I was already up because I sent it to y'all, so I was already awake. But like y'all seen my text, like my initial text was holy shit in all caps. So like
I'd be
that's why I
I'd
say
be
like
I'd be confused if I was Ant. But go ahead. Sorry, I'd be confused just
I
a little
mean
bit.
I I don't know. I don't know how I'd feel if I was Anthony Edwards. I think for me, yeah, I mean it's just a wow moment. I think like this the initial thought is this trade is a this is gonna be fun to watch trade. Like this is gonna be fun to watch in Minnesota. LaMelo Ball,
Showtime
Anthony
Wolves.
Edwards, both on the court and off the court. This is gonna be fun to watch. Um, I think for me, Minnesota, it's kind of tough that you have to, move Nas Reed. Nas Reed is a good basketball player, man. Nas Reed is a really, really good basketball player. And now you're left without a true four. I mean, Minnesota really doesn't have a true four. Um, That was my initial thought. I said, listen,
LeBron James.
hey, they've got to go get a four. They really do. I think that, I mean, you can play the lineup of Melo, Anthony Edwards, what would it be? Io,
Yeah, three guards and
Jaden
then Daniels.
McDaniels,
Yeah.
and Gobert, but like ultimately you're playing a small lineup, and I don't really. I mean, I think you need a true four. I think you really do. Um, so that's just my only issue with Minnesota. But listen, you get the opportunity to let Anthony Edwards play off of the ball, and I mean, he was frustrated getting double teamed so much. He was frustrated. I mean, that's all you do. You play Minnesota. You don't have to go double team anybody else in that lineup but Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
And you make him give the ball to somebody else. And obviously, we've seen Jaden McDaniels hold his own, and he was hooping in the postseason. But I mean, how long is that going to last ultimately? Like, Jaden McDaniels is not Anthony Edwards. He's not that caliber of a player. He's a really good player, but he's not that caliber of a player. LaMelo Ball is that caliber of a player.
Yeah.
So you get the opportunity to let him play off of the ball, and you're gonna go and double team Anthony Edwards and leave LaMelo Ball open. I mean, that's a nightmare for an opposing defense. He can. We know what LaMelo Ball is capable of. We know that he can go and hit seven threes in 3 minutes. Like that can get scary quick for an opposing defense. So that's what it is for me. I mean, I absolutely love it for Minnesota. I just think they need to go now and find a true four. If they would have been able to keep Nas Reed, that would have been a fleece of the century. Absolutely. But you got to go and get a four. And the part that doesn't make sense to me is why would you pay Io all of that money and then go and trade for LaMelo Ball? I don't I don't I
That's
don't I
why
don't
I'm saying that's the wrench in this whole plan. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, that's the
You gave him
part.
$100 million for 4 years as the third option on a team that you know he can't be the third option for.
so
And you're basically punting on size. That's what I'd say. You're punting on size and trying to run a two-guard lineup that's going to be elite. Your front court is garbage offensively.
yeah.
Like Jaden Daniels can give you 20 in a game, but when he's really locked in. And Gobert can't give you nothing more than 9, 10 points, even
Yeah.
though he's 7'2", even though he's the biggest person on the court. So that's why I say it doesn't make the trade to me was like I admire the fact that they moved off of Randall. But if you're gonna move off of Randall, you gotta upgrade in a lot of different respects.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. I understand they dumped Randall for a salary dump. I would have been happier if they went and got Giannis and they traded Randall and Reed and maybe somebody else with all those picks to go get Giannis. I would have liked that more. Because Giannis and Ant together, ooh,
Yeah,
that's
that
going
would
up.
be
Yeah,
Now
no,
that's making something
that's the one that
serious.
changes it.
yeah,
I
that
don't so
one.
I don't understand this move. This isn't because they might take a step backwards. They don't seem like and again, here's my issue with it. Melo doesn't play serious basketball. I understand he can hoop. I get that. He can put the ball in the basket at an alarming rate. But we have seen in the playoffs, especially this year, it takes a different breed to come through in the clutch time. Jalen Brunson, Victor Wembanyama. Victor's young. He doesn't understand. He can't come through in the clutch. Jalen Brunson been here. He missed Mr. Clutch. He got it. So him coming into the playoffs, all of a sudden he has to play a different brand of basketball than AAU. He's got to play serious, like we're trying to win the state championship type of ball, not AAU. And so that's my problem. It's like, will he be mature on a team where he needs to be the facilitator? Because he's the guy who's gonna have to see everything, especially in the playoffs. He's gonna have to be diming everybody.
You're asking LaMelo Ball to see everything? That's
That's
what
what
he
he's
does.
okay, but here's the problem. He does stupid stuff in Charlotte, and he doesn't. It
I
hasn't contributed to winning yet, and we don't know
I
if it will. We just saw John Morant squander an opportunity to be a basketball superstar because he couldn't act right in Memphis. And then he kept getting hurt. And what happens with LaMelo? He gets hurt. He's been hurt. He got hurt last season. He's been hurt. And the tomfoolery. So we've seen this happen before where a good player has not been mature and expected to win, and they can't hold on to it. They can't handle it. Memphis was supposed to be around and competing. They are now decimated. They're rebuilding. They just got the 3rd overall draft pick. So that's my problem. Like, are we sure Melo is going to immediately plug and play connect to winning basketball?
But I think, to me, though, I think it's a better situation for him because in Charlotte, that was the guy. He was the franchise. That he was the one option. And now he's the 2 option behind Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is the guy in Minnesota. That is the franchise right there.
So usually when you get a mature player and you tell him, all right, now you got to play a lesser role, even if he's making the same amount of money, he's going to have to play a different role than before. And he's gonna have to understand that. And I'm not trying to call him dumb or slow or anything, but can he compartmentalize it and turn it into something? Because I guarantee if we get into the playoffs and he's still doing one-legged footers from 30 feet, people are gonna say, "Oh my goodness."
He makes them though.
But here's the thing: he better make them with efficiency. You don't make them with efficiency. It's raps.
I think it's a little, and I listen, I understand that this was a playing game. I totally understand that. I totally get that. I think it's a little crazy to go and ask LaMelo Ball and question his ability to play winning basketball. He's the whole reason why Charlotte was a game away from being an 8 seed against the Detroit Pistons. He's the whole reason why.
But guess what? He didn't get there.
He didn't get there.
And in his building, he didn't get there.
But he was their best shot, though. He was their absolute best shot. If you're going to sit there and say that LaMelo Ball was not their best shot.
What does he give me in the playoffs? What are his stats? What does he give me in the playoffs? 20 and 23, 25 and 8 assists, something like that? I don't know.
It's just like
in a 7-game series, if LaMelo Ball is really on, he's really locked in, that's an easy 23 and 10.
Because here's the thing as well. You're bringing him in to be the 3rd best player on the court in the playoffs. 3rd, because the other team's best player is probably going to be better than him.
That's what I was going to say. Like, it just sucks that they're in the West. Like, Anthony Edwards is generational. But there's 2 players I would definitively take over him right now, and it's Victor Wembanyama and probably Shea right now. And the Thunder and the Spurs are just better constructed teams. And why did Ant walk over to the Spurs bench with 7 minutes left down 30? You got me, guys. Good job. Great series. The year before that, swept by the Thunder. Or actually, we lost in 5. And then they lost in 5 the year before to the Mavericks. And it's just like they haven't even been – I know they've contended, but they haven't really been close. Does this make them closer?
They've been in the Western Conference Finals.
But they haven't contended in the Western Conference Finals. They got whooped twice, and they got whooped by the Spurs. Like, they lost to the Spurs in 6. One of the games
He's right. They ran out of gas pretty much.
They run out of gas every year, and they could very well not run out of gas. It might just give the Spurs and Thunder are better.
But you know why they ran out of gas? Because they didn't have another superstar next to.
Well, wait a minute.
But does LaMelo Ball change that?
I'm gonna say, is LaMelo Ball? When I mean better than, I mean head and shoulders, by far, clearly better than. Is he better than Cat? By far and away, is he better than Karl Anthony Towns?
No.
We don't know.
At least not now.
Is he better than Julius Randle? Yeah. Is he better than Julius Randle? Yes. But how much? How much into what needs to happen for them to win? Julius Randle is not a good scorer. He's not an elite scorer. He's a good scorer. He's not elite. We're asking him, again, playing winning basketball and playing basketball is 2 different things. There are a lot of players. Look, Tracy McGrady lost in the first round every single year. He couldn't get out the first round. He's one of the greatest scorers in NBA history. But it doesn't matter because he didn't contribute to winning basketball. That's why he's not a top 15 player, because he didn't win nothing. His skill and talent was there, but he didn't contribute to nothing.
Yeah,
That's the thing
yeah,
about LaMelo that I'm wondering.
that's the thing. And like it very well, look, the Wolves could be really good, and they will be really good. And Chris Finch can coach the hell out of the team. They could be really good. They could be the third best team in the West. But the Thunder might have another gear, and the Spurs might have another gear because that's another year of Castle, Harper, Vassell, Wemby. That's
And then
another
you don't
year.
know, with the Nuggets and the Lakers and the Rockets. At any given year, they could get better and
It's
jump
just a
you.
byproduct of how good the West is. Like I know the East has gotten better, but the really young, really good teams are in the West, and it sucks for Anthony Edwards. Like they very well could beat the Thunder and Spurs. I'm just gonna have trouble picking them until I see it. And so, like, what else do they do? Like, I'm blanking out. Dante DiVincenzo is probably going to miss the entire season, too. There's one of your shooters that's gone. So, what happens there? Like, they have contended, don't get me wrong. The fact that they beat the Nuggets 2 years ago in game 7 still shocks me. The fact that, and look, they got whooped in the Western Conference Finals 2 years in a row. The Spurs series this year, they didn't look competitive, and that's probably why they traded for LaMelo Ball. And it very well could work. It's just like other teams have a gear, and it just doesn't move me. Like they definitely like going to Blake, like the won the trade thing. I think they won the trade over Charlotte. Like I don't know what Charlotte does. I really don't. Unless you expect Knuppel to be a top 10 player in the league, you expect Christian Anderson to be great. They have
It's
a
a
young coach.
lose-lose situation.
Yeah,
Both teams
it's a
just
lose lose.
basically kind of were like,
Like
eh.
I'm just talking about it like from a macro, which is like, is there a world where Dylan Harper is a better point guard than LaMelo Ball next year? Like, yeah. Is there a world where J Dub comes back and is incredible? Yes. And so like the Wolves did everything in their power to get better. Now it just depends on if they could actually put proof to the pudding, you know? But then again, like I can't argue it until we see it. And I don't think anybody's going to.
But
Yeah.
it's people are talking about the Giannis trade. I think Giannis is more likely to win a championship than Minnesota, and that plays into the different conferences for
I
sure.
think we're talking. I think we're going full different conferences
Yeah,
here.
that's an
Hey,
entirely
listen,
different
we're deep in the off season. We getting to it.
I
we're like
think.
first base.
We deep in the off season.
I
This
will
is
say though, I will
the
say
hypotheticals.
like, and this could segue us into the other trade that might happen. Like, I see reports that the Wolves are interested in Jaylen Brown. I don't know what they give for Jaylen Brown, but
Now
if they
that
got,
excites me. You get Jaylen Brown with that team, and I'm on
yeah,
board. I'm on board.
Lamelo Ant and Jaylen Brown would be one of the weirdest but most exciting trios in the league. With Jaylen Brown, they could beat the Thunder and Spurs, and I could say that right now. But I don't know if they're going to do that. They probably won't.
They don't
Um,
even have enough because it's
yeah,
like
that's the thing. Like, we could tie a knot on Lamelo. They just don't have enough for that.
and
But
and
we'll
the and
see.
the and with that stupid IO move, the contracts aren't even gonna line up because he's bringing over a $300 million
Yeah,
contract.
exactly. Whatever. All right, let's get into Jalen. I
All
know I
right.
sort of took over, but this has been a majority of my work because Jalen Brown, I mean, he hasn't even done anything wrong, honestly, in terms of these trade negotiations. Like the Celtics missed out on Giannis Antetokounmpo. The package was Jalen Brown and 2 firsts, and now the Celtics are still shopping him. And it looks like right now they're gonna make a move. Sham said they're go talking with purpose. Windhorse today said they're gonna trade him. Um, yeah, I don't know what I or Jalen Brown. The Celtics clearly looked at themselves in the mirror and said, "We're not good enough to beat the Knicks, and we might not be good enough to beat Miami. If we could capitalize on this right now and get a ton of return to be with Jason Tatum, we have a chance." But then again, there's so much unknown about where Jalen Brown could go. But I just want like I still think he's a top 15 player in the league, and I know you guys aren't going to argue against it. Like he's coming off a career season. It's just like it's really early on, you know?
Yeah,
The
for
team
sure.
I want to see him with is the Hawks. I think Atlanta could be a really good team with Jalen Brown.
Yeah.
I think they're missing one aspect. They were the team. They can hold their hats on saying that we had the champs tied up in the first round, and they can hold their hat on that, especially a young team like that. I know who was it? Either Blake or one of you two said it about how they kind of remind me of the Pistons of the year before, where they were a
That was,
six
that was
seed.
me.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, that
you.
was me.
So yeah, I really think that Atlanta would be a great team for him to go to, and he would definitely. I mean, as far as the being the number one option, he could treat it like the number one option. Him and Jalen Johnson would be great. You got CJ McCollum, who got a 1-year extension. You still got some guys. You got Nikhil Alexander-Walker. You have some, that's an interesting team.
I had a
Are they,
great draft too, by the way.
they did. I mean, you could genuinely, since we're handing out participation trophies, you could legit win 1 year. Like, based on how the East is gone, you could power up and be really good and win the East 1 year with Jaylen Brown. So that's where I think I want to see him go. We talked about Minnesota. I don't think the contracts will work, but that would be amazing. Another one would be Houston. If Houston wanted to trade with the Celtics, I don't know exactly who you would want either way, but he'd be interesting in Houston. But Atlanta's definitely my number one for him. Portland's another interesting one. But yeah.
Yeah, like I made a joke about Charlotte earlier. I don't think they do it. I've made a joke about Brooklyn. I do think Jaylen Brown stays in the East. Like it just like with what works, because a lot of it, like he wants to be a number one option, but at the end of the day, I don't think he cares too much. I think the Celtics are going to do the right return. I think Jaylen Brown just like needs to be refreshed in media training. Like he's still fully in it. I just don't think he should have went on stream or said like this is the best season of my life. I think it was taken all out of proportion.
I think that was tactical. I think I think he did that on purpose, not necessarily to be traded, but you know how everyone's been floated in they've been floating him in rumors. I think that was him strategically being like, all right, well then I'm just gonna blow this up.
Yeah, I don't know their money situation, but can Denver work? Like if Denver wants to make a move, can they work? Like
yeah, they're gonna give Peyton Watson like $30 million a year.
Yeah, so exactly. Can. So like that's obviously not gonna work. But like going through other teams, like Indiana just traded their first for Zubac, but Indiana with Halliburton and Brown could be pretty cool, especially after they missed out on a top 5 guy. Like a lot of this is speculation. I saw New Orleans shipping to New Orleans, great. Just don't send Zion back. It just like.
Zion to the Celtics would be insane.
Yeah.
Yo, that would be insane.
Yeah. I think like the biggest thing here, like, let me ask you guys. Say they don't trade Jaylen Brown. Say the Celtics do run it back. Can they beat the Knicks or can they beat the Heat? Like, that's the question because the Celtics as of right now.
They can beat the Heat. I think they can beat the Heat.
I think they could.
Pure shooting. The Knicks. I don't think the Knicks will repeat. It's hard for me to say yes and no.
This is the thing that we've spoke about for a year now, though, because the Knicks, like, I don't want to make this a Knicks discussion at all. But when Boston won the title in 24, they won it in absolutely dominating fashion, right? 16-3, swept the Pacers. They beat the Mavericks in 5, all that. And then the Knicks traded for Karl Anthony Towns, and they were built to beat the Celtics. And now they're built to beat the Celtics. And the Heat with Giannis are built to beat the Celtics. But can the Celtics do it with they want a big man, right? Maybe you trade Jaylen Brown to Cleveland and get Evan Mobley. That might make them a better team. I saw that as possible. And I don't know if I like that at all.
No.
Jaylen Brown and James Harden in Cleveland, like, oh shit. It's just like it's weird because the Celtics are so well coached. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum is still a top duo in the league. They can still compete. But I think this put the rift in it where it's just like, we're not going to be able to compete. Now we're just going to move because we want to build around Jason Tatum.
Clippers
could work. Clippers could very well work. But yeah, I mean, the Clippers could work. Like the Phoenix Suns could work. Fuck it, 20 teams in the NBA could work for Jaylen Brown. It's just a question of what the Celtics are going to get because the other thing, the Celtics don't care about doing him right. They really don't. Like they'll get the best offer. Like they'll send him to a bottom feeder team and make him better. Like I'm sorry for going on this absolute long rant about hypotheticals and wasting all.
Send him to the Kings with Darius Acuff. Let's get cracking.
Send him to fucking Toronto. Send him to Toronto.
Toronto would be interesting. I mess with Toronto. Him and Scotty Barnes would be good.
Right? I saw Utah. Like, I wouldn't.
Too crowded.
I agree. Too crowded. I fully agree. Too crowded. Atlanta, I really like that one. Someone said to me Detroit. I'm just like, they're not trading Jaylen Brown to Detroit. No, they're not doing that. But you could make like an argument for 20 teams. It's just who pulls the trigger. Golden State? Do you want to win with Steph? Go get Jaylen Brown.
Don't worry. Don't worry, Jaylen Brown. We got Yaxel.
I don't know. Like, I don't. Like, Dallas. Like, maybe if you got 4 first-round picks for Luka, you could pick 2 of them. but you can't.
I thought about that, but I don't think they want to mess with Cooper Flag's
I don't
spacing.
think they want to either. And
Otherwise, they would have gone with Yaxel at 9, I feel like.
yes,
And I think
yeah.
they wanted to let Cooper fly free in that 3 spot and really feel like himself without crowding him. Because then you draft Yaxel and you're already that's a log jam at the 3 or 4.
Yeah. Anyway, I just went on a rant about a bunch of hypotheticals. I think the point I'm just trying to get across is the Celtics right now, I think they can win, but I don't think they think that internally anymore. I really don't think they do. And I think that,
If they really don't like him, they should send him to Brooklyn.
uh, dude, I actually like it makes the Nets a better basketball team. Jaylen Brown and Julius Randle would be the meanest thing. Like, yeah, exactly.
Yo, he
Like
just
the
said
Nets.
Jaylen Brown and Julius Randle on the same
Yeah.
team.
No, no,
That made me crack up,
I
gang.
fully agree with you. Like, I don't think it puts the Nets anywhere, but they've been looking to make a move for a big player. He could be that player, especially like the reason I support it is because the Nets screw up all their draft picks. Like, it's not gonna work. Like, it's not gonna work.
Yo,
Jaylen Brown and
a
Julius
team
Randle.
of Michael Porter Jr., Julius Randle, and
Yeah,
Jaylen Brown is a nightmare.
yeah, Jesus Christ. But it might be better than what they have. Like
It would be better. It would be entertaining for sure, but
yeah. Like would Boston like oh gosh, I'm not even gonna say it. It makes no sense and it's not gonna happen. It's just like so much of it's hypotheticals. And I guess we'll just have to talk about it when it happens, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that right now it's hard to put a team on it because I mean, ultimately it's really whoever is going to take on that contract for one, and two, it's are you willing to trade away some draft assets, capital, and some young guys to get Jaylen Brown? Like, are you willing to do that? So I think it's just a lot of, who's going to do it.
Sorry, the Rangers just made a trade. Okay, cool. Well, let's continue.
Um, so yeah, I mean it is a lot of hypotheticals. It's who wants to take on that contract and things like that. So that's really it. I know they said the reports that said Celtics are looking for a big man, so I would assume they are trying. I mean, they need it. Yeah,
Dominating DeAndre Ayton.
I mean, because I like Kata, but like you're going up against Giannis and Bam, you're going up against Cat. Like, what is Kata gonna do? Respectfully, what is Kata gonna do? So
Yo, you respect Kata.
you gotta go get a big man. So
It's not a
I
bad big
think a
man.
big man would be in a trade for Jaylen Brown, but yeah, I mean it's gonna be interesting to see if it even happens. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen because of that
Right.
contract. So um that's about it. NBA draft.
Yeah, and I'll start us off because it would be my pleasure. It really would be my pleasure.
Go ahead, Nets fan. What do you got for us?
Um, shit. I mean, like we knew it was gonna happen. I was looking forward to the draft the entire time. I got to see the Knicks win the championship, which is a bucket list thing for me since I'm from New York. And I'm just like, all right, cool. It's draft time. You see all the reports. I'm just like, I said it on the podcast. I said to you guys, don't fall outside the top five. If we don't fall outside the top five, we're getting a guaranteed start. Guess what they do? They fall out the top five. But mock drafts and the Clippers put them in a position where they could still get one of those stars named Darius Acuff because they have a point guard. And Darius Acuff, the only person ever, and I state ever, to lead the SEC in points and assists besides Pistol Pete, the third freshman to win SEC player, the freshman guard under Calipari, one of the best players in college basketball, the Bob Cousy Award winner. Who cares that he can't play like a defense? Because you just had Cam Thomas. You had a chance to get a franchise player guy, and you pick Michael Brown, who I saw in person, and people go like this a lot, right? They go, I saw a guy in person, he's different. Well, guys, Michael Brown's different. I saw him in person against Wake Forest. He went 2 for 10 from the field with 12 points. So Brooklyn, you screwed up again. You did. And I look, if Michael Brown turns out to be a star, great. Come back to this in 5 years. Darius Acuff, I don't care that he doesn't play defense. He might be the best scoring guard to come out in a very long time. And you passed on him. And that might be worse than botching 5 first round picks last year, which you did, by the way. And so that's it for me. The Nets are my biggest draft loser. It's not even close. I go look at other ones. It's Brooklyn. It's Brooklyn over and over and over again because it's what they are. They are a crappy franchise. They traded for Julius Randle. That's a whole nother thing I don't need to talk about. You're in the Knicks shadow and you're going to keep doing stuff and you'll always be in New York shadow. And at this point, go back to Jersey because nobody wants you.
I mean, that's real. That's real.
Yeah, I'm not a Knicks. I'm barely a Nets fan anymore. I care much more about the Knicks. My life is much more
Yo, they won the championship and you fold immediately.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But for the past 3 years, I've cared much more about the Knicks. And I'm not trying to state I'm a Knicks fan. What I'm trying to state is no
Oh,
one gives a
brother.
crap about the Nets. No one, because they keep ruining it. Sean Marks, Joe Tsai, whoever it is, you ruin KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. You trade them. You get Ben Simmons. It doesn't work there. You get Mikal Bridges. You trade him for 5 first-round picks. That could be great, but then you fuck up all 5 first-round picks. And then you get Darius Acuff, you get a chance, and you pick a different guard just because he can play a lick of defense. And by the way, Michael Brown gets hurt a lot. So have fun. And then I could speak about their other draft picks too. I like Josh Jefferson. He's not good enough to change a team. Tyler Bigelow sucks. And so good job, Brooklyn. You guys looked really hyped. Darius Acuff's coming for your ass, and soon enough, you're going to be the Sacramento Kings.
Okay. That was
Hmm.
oh boy. All right, he's not wrong. The losers of the draft are the Brooklyn Nets. The 28th pick, they also took Joshua Jefferson, which made no sense. He will help you in nothing. He was a good player, but he's the type of player that you need when you already have a good team and you don't have a good team, so he's worthless. Uh, let's see. It was for the most part, the first round was pretty much what we expected. Um,
Yeah.
I thought
It was
Morez at 9 was a little bit of a surprise. He definitely snuck up. Knew he was gonna be a Michigan player, especially after Dusty May went to Dallas. But I thought about it. I thought, why not Yaxel? And like I said, I think they didn't want to create that log jam with Cooper Flag, so they went with a bigger forward. So that front court is still as dominant as ever and big and strong and defensively sound for Dallas. That's one thing that they have. Yaxel at 11 was pretty interesting. Adai Mara going to the OKC. The rich get richer. Um,
pro. Okay,
that was crazy.
Yeah, OKC.
Them getting
bro.
Adai Mara, and then who else did they get in the first round?
Bro, they got
Bennett
Bennett
Sturts.
Sturts,
Yeah,
bro.
so they got a shooter because a lot of their contracts um are gonna
Bro.
come off the books. Like Luke Dort's gonna come off the books. They already traded Aaron Wiggins. Some guys are gonna come off the books. So to get a shooting point guard who is an elite scorer that can shoot from any range, and a 7'3" big man who's elite defensively at the rim and just such a good force. Those are two great picks.
Who can
OKC,
pass the shit out the ball.
yeah, great passer. That was, I mean,
Bro.
Sam Presti was in his Duffy again.
Sam Presti's a demon,
Bro,
dog.
he was in his
Call
Duffy.
the National Guard, bro.
He was
Yeah.
in
This
his
shit
bag.
needs to stop. This shit needs to stop, bro. I plead and I beg, bro.
Yeah, they pretty much solved a lot of their problems in the
Bro.
draft. And their drafting is elite. I thought Abuka Corey to Detroit was interesting.
I like that a lot, by the way. I like that a
He's a
lot.
great scoring guard, don't get me wrong, but we have 3 point guards on the roster. And because we got Cade, got Dennis Jenkins, who sometimes plays the two, a small two guard, and then you got Marcus Sasser. So fitting a 6'1" scoring guard in there seems a little crowded. I would have wished Isaiah Evans. I was sitting there like, I say Cameron Carr or Isaiah Evans, that's who I wanted, and they both fell underneath. So that was an interesting pick. Just kind of going down. I thought Zuby Ejiofor at 23 was a surprise. I definitely thought he was going to be a second rounder. Cameron Gar, y'all know I liked him. Him going to the Lakers was pretty good.
Yeah.
San Antonio going with size was pretty interesting. And then after that, it wasn't much of I'll stop there. We'll get into round 2 after this, but for round 1, like you said, it pretty much went how we thought it was gonna be, how we thought it was gonna go. I thought the winner was the OKC Thunder. I just
Yeah.
Mara at 12, sitting at 12 is a gem, and then getting Sturts getting Sturts. Guy can just shoot from 30 feet with a flick of the wrist. So those are great picks.
One
Perfect.
team that I really liked Chicago. Like I know I'm a Carolina fan and they got Caleb Wilson. But if you're looking at past number 4 picks, Caleb Wilson probably has the highest ceiling in a very long time. Like you can make the argument that he is the best player in this class. Like you never know. I really like Dalen Swain too. Dalen Swain's a guy that, while inconsistent in college, really came into his own at Texas. He's long. He could really push a defense or something. And the Bulls, like, that's another one. Like Jaylen Brown to the Bulls, maybe. I don't know. I'm not doing this, but I really like what the Bulls did with those two. And then we spoke about it. Atlanta had a great draft. Kingston Flemings might be the best freshman Kelvin Sampson ever coached. And you add on the Houston fact, Zuby Ejiofor, yeah, he might have went a little early, but great offensive rebounder, will play behind Jalen Johnson. And then they got Henry Visar too. And that's a slim big. They got a slim big and a big big. Like, and so good for them. Like that's another great draft. And then obviously the Wizards won once they got AJ Debinsa. Like AJ Debinsa is the closest thing to me to a surefire All-Star entering the league since Wemby. And before that, probably a guy in the early 2010s. Like he's that good. He breaks every scoring record, and he's gonna change their franchise. I feel pretty confident about it. It doesn't mean he's gonna win them rings, but he's gonna be a really good player in this league for a really long time. So those are 3 guys that work. And then I'll throw in one more, and I'm taking the bait here. Like Darren Peterson, there's an argument for him to be the number 1 pick. And now he joins Keontae George, Larry Markkinen, Jaren Jackson, and Walker Kessler, and Ace Bailey. Like Utah's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
Um,
I sort of just took all of it. Apologies.
no, I think I really liked what Atlanta did. And then I also really love Boston as well. Chris Sinac Jr., Dylan Mitchell. You get Sinac at what is he, like 6'11",
Yeah,
27,
that's
yeah.
that's Evan Mobley.
who's a stretch four. And yeah,
I
you
told
and
you.
this Evan
He gonna
Mobley.
be Evan Mobley, gang. Watch.
Okay, think about Evan Mobley in the Boston Celtics lineup. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That is disgusting.
That doesn't scare me. Evan Mobley doesn't
Oh
scare
my
me.
God, bro.
Nobody on Cleveland
What?
nobody on Cleveland except Donovan Mitchell scares me
All
in
right,
the
bro.
playoffs.
I'm not talking.
Nobody.
I'm not talking about Cleveland right now.
I
Evan
love
Mobley.
Chris
Christian
Sinac too.
Jr.
I
is a
love
stretch
Sinac.
four. I love it for Boston, especially right now. They need a big. Obviously, he's not going to be plug in and be dominant right then and there. I don't think,
How
Christian
many
is.
points he's gonna average in his rookie year? How many points do you think he's gonna average? It's got
I
to be
think
more than he scored at Houston.
I think
I think it'd be between 8 and 10
yeah, I
if they
think 12. Like I look the
if they do it
reason.
And
right.
guess what?
Yeah,
Depends
no,
on if Jalen Brown's there.
yeah, Sanak was the number
He
1
won't be.
center in 2025. It was the number 1 center, and he might not have led Houston in points and all of this. And Blake, I'm not stealing all your thunder. In less than 25 minutes per game, he averaged 8 rebounds. Houston had a defensive efficiency of 95 whatever the rating is. Like he's a great player.
I
And
Yeah.
mean, yeah, he's tall. He's tall. I mean, like Evan
This
Mobley
guy,
should.
you
man.
think
Evan
This
Mobley
guy.
should have
This
and look
guy,
averaged 10,
look
man.
11
what look
rebounds.
what
Shut the
Joe
fuck
Mazzulla
up with
did.
this
Look what
Mobley
Joe
shit.
Mazzulla did to Luka Garza, Namis Keita, and Nikola Vucevic. He made
We
them.
just talked about Kada. He shat all over Kada.
Yeah, because he's not that good of a basketball player. But Chris
I
Sinac is.
listen. I like Kada. I'm just saying, in terms of we're going back on this fucking Kada shit with Giannis and the rest of the
Wait a
East.
minute, wait a minute, wait a minute.
That's all I had to say. That's all I was
But
saying.
wait a minute, wait a minute. Let me just say this. If you're asking me if a 6'11", 7-foot player should be averaging 10 points and he's the closest person to the rim, you're out of your mind.
You said his
You're out of
rookie
your mind.
year. It's his rookie year in a
You did
Boston
say his
Celtics
rookie year.
lineup.
It-
What?
it-
He's not
yeah, but
getting the ball like that.
Yeah, but you talking to me like he Evan Mobley. He not Evan Mobley. And I don't even want Evan Mobley in my
He
lineup.
can be that type of player, though. He can be. And that's what I'm saying. Once
We'll
he
see.
gets developed and you have an Evan Mobley in your lineup with the Boston Celtics, that's disgusting. That is a championship team. A
Again,
championship
I watched
favorite.
Evan Mobley
In the
score
East?
9 points and grab 4 rebounds in a playoff game this
Man,
year.
get out of here
And
with
he
that.
and he
Man, I'm
and,
not
and he
hearing
gets
that.
you know how much
I'm
money
not
he
hearing
gets? Bro, I could average 9 points and 4 rebounds
I'm
in
not
this series.
I'm not hearing that. I'm not
Not to
hearing that.
mention Dylan Mitchell too. I love Dylan Mitchell.
And that's what I was about to say next was Dylan Mitchell, a very explosive guy, a defensive guy who plays lockdown D.
He's a good player. I like Dylan Mitchell. I liked him at St. John's.
Yeah, I think I really like what Boston did. So those are
Not
that's
no Evan
that's
Mobley,
mine right
man.
there.
Get out of here with that.
Man,
But in terms of the second round, I thought this is what pissed me off. Minnesota grabbed Isaiah Evans, and then they did that bullshit with LaMelo Ball. And then it seemed like, okay, I don't know what to make of the Wolves this offseason. Because you got a great second round draft pick. He's the 33rd pick. You grabbed him in the second round. And now it's like, what do you do with him? Your lineup is a little crowded. So you could start him at the 3 if you really feel like that. And then be like, Ayo, you're on the bench, you come off. That's a possibility. Second round didn't really have that many guys. I like Jaden Bradley going to, Toronto. Jaden Bradley's a
Yeah, I
nice
like
guy.
that one. They were the only team not to trade their pick in the second round, by the way.
Interesting. Yeah, I see that. Everyone else
The
That
just
only
second
team.
round, that second round was full of trades.
One more I really like in the late second round. I like Trey Kaufman-Renn to Minnesota a lot because he's a bruiser. And he's got better every year in college, and he's not going to be there starting big, but he's a guy that could come in.
don't like
And
him.
I don't want to say add more offensively than Rudy Gobert because that's not fair to Rudy Gobert, but it might be true. I just like Trey Kaufman-Renn a lot. That's a good one. And then,
Yeah.
dare I say it, like, I don't know how good he'll be in the NBA. I don't think he'll be a great NBA player. Props to Nick Martinelli. Props. Good for you.
That's the second
Like,
Northwestern player drafted in
yeah, in
consecutive
back-to-back
years.
years. It's never happened before. Like,
Joy District legend, baby.
that,
Legend right
Joy
there.
District legend.
Joy District legend.
Yo,
Oh
I
my
hate Joy
goodness,
District, bro. That Joy District gave me some problems, bro.
Oh my gosh. All right. Shall we do tweaker of the week?
Yeah, let's do it.
Everybody's favorite segment, best segment in sports entertainment history. Tweaker of the week. Who's y'all tweakers, man? I know Jake's.
Well, I don't want to pick it because I actually think I have a better one.
Okay,
But
go ahead.
yeah, my tweaker of the week is I got to be careful with this. The WNBA. I'm sure you guys saw, and I'm not trying to disrespect the WNBA at all. I should probably say the WNBA marketing. The 30th anniversary poster came out today, and I'm sure you guys saw Caitlin Clark's not on it. Um, I don't
Crazy.
like it's crazy because regardless of what you think about her, she's the face of the league. A face of the league. She might not be the best player in the league, but she's a face of it, and she's helped their ratings. She's helped everything. And to exclude her from the poster didn't make sense. And but I am glad that they upgraded Alyssa Thomas's foul to a flagrant because that was a dead-on flagrant, fist on the throat, all that. No pause. I don't like that. But the WNBA absolutely tweaking. Like tweaking. I just feel like ever since Caitlin Clark's come into the league, they've had a real chance to do a lot of stuff in that first year, second year when they were putting the Fever's road games in bigger arenas and getting more revenue. They were doing that, and now it feels like they're taking a step back. Like it just doesn't make a lot of sense for me. Yeah.
My trick of the week is Dalton Rushing. We go with a little bit of baseball.
That's a great one.
Dalton Rushing, bro. I knew he was. I don't know what's wrong. He's legit a tweaker. So they're playing the Twins in Minnesota at Citi Field. Shohei throws, I think it might have been a sweeper or something. It catches the corner. Shohei's telling him, challenge it, challenge it. He's looking at Shohei. He's going, no, I'm not challenging it. First of all, who are you? That is Shohei Ohtani. All right, you gonna respect when Shohei wants to do something. You let Shohei do something. In a game of baseball, he can walk anywhere and do anything. All right, he say challenge the pitch. You should be challenged the pitch without even thinking. All right, number one, Shohei was right. It was a strike. All right, so you look stupid. And you get back to the bench and you have to have people talking to you. Why? Because you strike out 3 times in the game, and then you start breaking down. He had a mental breakdown on the bench because he struck out 3 times in a baseball game. How many times do I have to tell you? You
I
will
watched
get
3 Mets do that yesterday alone.
I'm about to say that's an occurrence, bro. I watch Tigers baseball. Listen, you know how mentally fragile you got to be to have a breakdown because you had a 3 strikeout day? Every single hitter in MLB history has had a 3 strikeout day. It happens. Some days you don't see the ball. Sometimes you're not great against pitchers. Why are you legit having a mental breakdown? Listen, if you're having a legit mental breakdown, I'm not going to make you tweaker of the week. But if you're a professional athlete, that should not make you flip out. All right. The fact that Shohei's telling you to do this, you got the manager, you got Dave Roberts up there talking to you. Bro, If anybody wants to go see it, just go watch him. He literally loses his mind. He's like sitting on the bench with his head in his hands, like freaking out because he had a 3 strikeout game and showed up Otani. Like, and he's already had a history of being a bad teammate. He's literally, showed up guys. He's said things about teammates. He said things about opposing players. Dalton Rushing's just overall not a good player.
Called the
Like,
Colorado Rockies cheaters. You know how bad you got to be to do that?
yeah, and it was so funny because people were like, they're just systematically jumping on the first pitch. That's all that's happening. They're a first pitch team, and he didn't recognize that. So he didn't read the scouting report, so they gotta be cheating just because they're trash. That pissed me off. He legit is like one of those guys that you don't want to be around. And then are you gonna do the Terry Arnold?
Yeah, I'll take Terry on, man. Terry on Arnold. What are we doing? What are we doing? If y'all don't know, Terry on Arnold basically threw his life away. Um, got robbed allegedly, and then allegedly retaliated back by sending some people to go and lure these other people who he said allegedly robbed him to a hotel room, and guys jumped out of the closet and held him at gunpoint, and he's texting the dudes while he's on the way to the hotel telling them what to do.
Yo,
And he-
texting a crime is crazy.
and then
I'm
he
not
gets
gonna lie.
into the and then he gets into the hotel room and they interrogate him more. They rob him back allegedly. They leave with them still held at gunpoint, and the rest is history. Um, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
He's
It's a
who
shame to
John
see you
Morant
guys.
thinks he is.
Like, come on, bro. That is like, come on. You get robbed and you start moving like Suge Knight. What are we doing?
Bro, he
We're on the
he said that
quarterback for the
call.
Detroit Lions.
Nah, he from Detroit. He said I'm from Tallahassee. He said I'm making that call.
Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? That's literally, bro. I can't. I just can't. It doesn't add up to me, dog. It don't.
It don't.
It don't add up. Like, just like, bro. Like, just call the cops.
You know what's so funny?
Who
You know
got
what's
robbed?
Yo, you know what's so funny about this whole thing? You know how the cops found out? The people who allegedly robbed him first called the cops to report him. Even though they robbed him first, they called the cops and were like, listen, we robbed him, but he been doing this. He did this to us.
Like, you made it. You just upped the scale 10 times worse. 10 times worse. Like, bro, I just can't believe it, man. I really can't. I really can't. And then like you moving like this, doing all of this when you know that your team cannot have at any the Detroit Lions cannot have any in the slightest bit of error whatsoever on and off the field. The Detroit Lions cannot afford that. Absolutely not. The Detroit Lions are in a position where they need every single player on that roster to be fully healthy and playing every single game. And now you just went and threw it away because you want to be a mob boss. Like, bro, I just don't. He's fucked.
Yeah, he's never
Excuse
gonna
my
play. He's never
language.
gonna play a snap of football in his life.
Excuse my language. Terrion Arnold is cooked.
Yeah.
Done
But
for.
what makes you legit wake up in the morning and think, I got millions of dollars. I'm in the NFL. Let me go get my lick back. No, you will let
Like,
the
bro.
authorities get your money back.
Bro.
You let people whose job it is. This ain't paid in full. This ain't New Jack City gang. You can't be moving like that.
Bro. They got him up in the news got him up in the thing. He's got the
Yeah.
green jacket on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he was actually tweaking in that cell.
Yeah.
He might have been tweaking in that cell, man.
The tweaker of the century, bro.
It's something about Detroit corners. I'll tell you what. Started with Jeff Okuda. Then you talk about Cam Sutton. He got in trouble with the law. We cut him. You got Kendall Vildor who can kiss. Oh, Kendall Vildor, bro. Ooh, bro. Kendall Gil, you know me personally, Kendall Vildor. Oh boy. And then now you get Terrion Arnold. Well, tell me DJ Reed still got his head in his brain.
He does. He
Hey,
does. He
we
does.
just need to get
At least I
healthy.
hope.
We just need to get healthy, bro.
So now we go into next season. All right. Kirby Joseph was hurt the entire season. We don't have Branch for a good portion because he tore his Achilles at the back end of the season. Now we have one safety and one corner, and we're starting back with a bunch of backups. And the defense doesn't look like it's any better than it was last year. In fact, it got worse because now there's a man in jail and a man at home trying to get back on the field.
Curtains.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the life of a Lions fan.
Curtains.
Yeah.
Curtains. Curtains. That's what we're gonna end with here. Curtains.
Last thing from me. Prayers up to Matt Miller, someone I look up to. And please stay safe, or prayers to you. I'm sure you guys saw that. So
Yeah, that
prayers
was
to Matt Miller, one of my favorite guys out there in sports media. You're not going to see this, but if you do, prayers up. I love you. You'll always have our Talkball Tweakers love.
Yeah, that was wild. Prayers up to him for sure. Yeah, no, run it up as always. That's it for this episode. Like, comment, subscribe, comment. They need to comment something NBA.
Where's Jaylen Brown end up?
Yeah, comment. Yeah, that's a good one. Comment where you think Jaylen Brown is gonna end up. Let's hope that shit doesn't happen before this episode gets out. Um, and yeah, run up socials, Instagram, TikTok, as always. That's all I gotta say. Stay fly. Peace.